let's continue with our Node.js lecture. Okay. So last time we created the server. Now this time we will work on the different way to create a server. Okay, so let's try to go to different way to create the server. So generally, if you see the server which I created last time, we have, for example, let me open. So we have to use if condition like this, and so this is very limited. If you create server directly with the Node.js HTTP module, so it has limited functionality. You won't be able to go to much higher level. So a lot of things are needed in creating these URLs and manipulating the results. And so this method is only for learning purpose, but when you go to practical real world example, no one use this one. Everyone use the Express server. So today we'll see, today and few lessons from the next week also, we will go over the Express and we'll do a lot of things in the Express server. So I'm in the Node 2 folder. Let me go to the terminal of the Node 2. You can also create a folder and go to the terminal for that folder. So what we have to do? We have to create the Express server. So before creating the Express server, we need to make this folder as a node module. Okay, right now nothing is there in the node folder. So whenever we want to start a node project, we have to follow some guidelines. And the guidelines are as follows. So you have to start with the npm init. So whenever you want to start a node project, you have to start with the npm init, and it will give you some default values. You have to accept all default values. Or if you want to change, you can change also those values. And once you will run this, then I'll tell you what to do next. So just we will run npm init. You can also run npm init in one of your folders. So when I say npm init, he will give application will give some explanation, and it's asking what is the package name. So currently the folder is node 2, so they are thinking that package name is also node 2. And if you want to change, you can change to whatever package name you want to put. But right now I don't want to change. I want to keep node 002. So I'll just press enter. Now they're asking which version of your application should be. So this is your application. It will start with 1.0.0. When you will edit your node, any of the code, you can change it to 1.0.1, 1.0.2, something like that. You have to move. I will accept the default version. You can put some description. Maybe I can say Express Learning. Now here you have to mention what is the entry point of your code. So it doesn't matter, you can change it or keep index.js as it is. I'll keep it index.js. Test command, we don't need to do anything in the test command. We don't need to do any git repository. Keyword is not needed. Author, you can put your name. And license, you can accept the default. Once you put all this, you will see this information. And this information, if you feel correct, you can press yes. That is, you can press enter. And then that information is now saved. Now where it is saved? If you open the node 2, it is saved in the package.json file. So whenever we create node application, a package.json file is created based on the input which you inserted while doing the npm init. Now, whenever you want to install some new module, you can just run npm install and you can put anything like we will be doing now Express. So I'll say npm install Express. Once I say npm install Express, this Express will go as a dependency in the package.json file. So if you see, if you open this package.json file, you will see these dependencies. Inside dependencies, we have the Express module here installed. So this is only one module right now we are installing. Maybe in future we will be installing multiple modules, and you will see the dependency list will grow as we move forward. Now the problem is this node module folder will also be committed if you don't do anything now. We have to put this node module folder in the git ignore. When we were building the React application, it was automatically the git ignore file was created by the create React app. But here, since we created our own, the git ignore file is not created. Now, if I try to commit in the git, the whole node module folder will go, and that will cause problem on my server. So we need to copy this git ignore file from any of my React project and put it in the node 02 folder, so that node module folder should not go in the git. Never ever commit the node module folder in the git, because that size of node module is very big. It goes to GBs, and we don't want to commit so much GB in the git. That's the reason never ever commit this node module folder. Whenever you try to install anything like npm install Express or anything, it will install in the node module folder only. So if you open node module folder, you will see the Express is installed here. And Express may need some helper folders, and that's the reason all these other folders are created in addition to the Express. So not only we are creating Express folder, we are also creating a lot of folders which are dependent for these folders for which Express is dependent on. So if any of this folder is missing, Express will not run properly. That's all the intro. So everyone learn this npm init command and put the git ignore file in your project, so that node modules folder should not go to the git commit. I'll give you 2 minutes to finish this step which I built just now. So is it done? Okay, so let's continue now with this. So before going further, I just want to mention that I told you this is the project management campaign ninja.us. So right now this Comcast is not allowing me to host any website on the port 80. So that's the reason it's not working. So I will get another server in few days and then I will host it there. So I'll keep you updated. Right now this website is not working, but in few days, once I get new server, I will install everything there. Okay, so let's start now. Let's continue here. Now, since since uh, since we have mentioned index.js as the initial file, let's create that index.js file in the Node.js folder. So I'll create index.js file. Right now I'll just say console.log hello world. And when I want to run this file, I will just say node index.js file. Now you will see hello world is displayed here. Now if I want to add more lines, I will say hello world 2. And then again I have to run this node index.js. Now what I will do, I will take this node index.js and I will put it in the package.json file in one specific way. So here there is a script key value pair. What I will do, I'll delete this test part, and here I will write down our own custom key value pairs. For example, I will say npm start, and here I can put anything. So generally, I want that when someone will say npm start, I should run this node index.js file, node index.js command. So I will put this command here inside start one. Okay, so whenever now if I run npm start, it is nothing but it will run the node index.js command as you see here, and it will run the file which we have here. So what I did, I created my custom script, and with this script it will run the command which I wanted to run. So that's how the scripts work. Let's say now the problem is this index.js file. If I edit this file, then I have to run this npm start again. Okay, if I did something in the index, I have to run this npm start again. So while development this doesn't look good, you have to run it again and again. Okay. So what I will do, I will install one more module so that whenever I try to change here, it will automatically reload this command line. So what we have to do, we have to install one command, that is npm install Nodemon. Okay, when I say npm install Nodemon, you will see Nodemon will be added here. Okay, see Nodemon is added here. And this Nodemon, what does this Nodemon does? If I run Nodemon index.js command, then you will see hello world is there. And if I try to change this file by adding more line, you will see this is automatically updated and refreshed it. So I don't need to run it again. So it checks my file, and if I change something, it will reload this command line here. So what we did, we added the Nodemon command here. Now, like we created this start one, I will add one more line. Maybe I can say dev. And in dev, I will say run the command Nodemon space index.js. So when I run this dev command in the command line, it will run this part. And when I run npm start, it will run this part. So generally only npm you run with npm start. Rest all thing if you want to run, you have to say npm run dev. Let's see if npm dev works. I'm not sure. Let's check. Yeah, npm dev is not working, so you have to say npm run dev. Only with the start you can say npm start. Otherwise, all other things what you create, you have to say npm run, whatever name you have given here. So once I say npm run dev, you will see Nodemon index.js is running and it is watching for my changes. So if I do any more change here, you will see it is automatically reloaded here without me calling node index.js again. Is this part clear? This part and this part? Okay. So, so I'll give you 2 minutes to install the Nodemon and add these couple of lines here in the package.json. And once you're done, let me know. Then we will use the Express server to create a server in the Node application. I'll give you 2 minutes. Okay, so I'm back. So now we have installed 2 of the dependencies in our project. So we can add lot of dependencies based on my project requirement, and as my project goes bigger and bigger, my requirements, I will be adding more and more dependencies for my project. Now we are building a complete API server with this Express, and for that I'll be doing few more things in this my application. The main task which we are doing, we're creating the Express server. But Express server, if I just create it, you will be only be able to see that hello world kind of thing. So we will build complete API package, a simple API package example, and it will have many things there. Okay, like file upload will be there, post request will be there, get request will be there, a lot of things will be there. Okay, so which I will show you soon one by one in maybe in few days, in few sessions. Okay, so let's try to now create the server. Okay, so we'll create the server using the Express. Let's do that one job first. Okay. So what we have to do, I will go to index file. Now here, since we have installed the express, I will call the express here. So maybe I will say constant express. If you want to call any module, you use require here. In React, we were using import, but in Node, import will not work. You have to use require. And you say express. So now this express server is added to this variable. Now we will take use of this express now. Second line which I will do here, I will create an application based on the express server. So I'll say app equal to express as a function. So we call the express and then we initiate this express, that is we initiate the function which express has. So express is a function, so we initialize the function and we save the value inside the app. Now app is something, the express server. Now we have to use this app to create the server. Now what I will do, I will create one server. I can put that in some variable, but right now I will just put without the variable. If you remember our React application, let me show you in React what we did. So in this, we created the server using the variable name. Okay, so that part I will do later. I'm not using variable name right now. I will just use here like this, app.listen. So here I want to tell on which port I want to listen. You can give any port you want, like 3000 or 8000. Let's do 8000 here now. And here will be the function, arrow function. This arrow function will run when the app is started the server. So I can say here inside the arrow function, I can say console.log server started at port number 8000. Okay, so what I did, I created the express server. I put the express function in the variable app, and then I listen to that app by calling app.listen with some port number. So whatever port number you want to use, you can use it and you can run that one. So now what I will do, I will run, either I can run start, then every time I do the change, I have to run this npm start again. But if I run this npm run dev, then every time I change, it will automatically restart the server. So let's start with the npm run dev here. So here I get some error. 8000 is already used. Maybe I might be using it somewhere. So let's try to change it to another one. Let's use it port number 8080. Here also I'll change 8080. Okay, so it's saying server started at port number 8080. Let's try to see if 8080 is working in the URL browser. So you will see if I run localhost 8080, it's saying cannot get this root slash. Because though we created the server, we did not mention any routing here. Whenever you create the express server, you have to mention the routing, that what will happen if user will go to this URL. That is the main URL. So to create the routing, I will take some time. First you have to write this one, and then I will show you how to create the routing so that we can create different URLs, and each URL will give us different content. So I'll give you 1 minute to write down this code in the index and run it locally and see if it is working. Because once this class is done, you won't be able to go through all and do the exercise. So just do it in front of me. Just run this one and see if you are able to see this part. Okay, though the URL will not work right now because we are not done with all the steps. 1 minute to complete this. Okay, so I hope it is working for you. If it is not working, just let me know now. Because if you work after the class, then I won't be able to help you, immediately. Here you can ask me immediately the questions if you have any problem. Now what we have to do, we have to create different routing so that when I go to the URL in this page, I should be able to see something. So generally this URL routing part goes into another file, but for today, I will not go to another file. I will write it here only. But next time I will move that to another folder and file so that it is easily manageable in our project, because project may grow larger and larger. So we need to put it in another folder. So how to create URL? So generally I will use this app, and then I want to know what method I'm using. In REST API, we can use get, post, put, delete method. These are the common methods which we use. There are some other methods like patch also, but we will not do this part right now. And we will not even go to this two part right now. We will just work on this to get and post. So we need to know whether I want to use the get or post method. Get method is something you can directly call the URL. It is a get method. But you cannot call the post method here. For that, you need to create the form, and in the form, you have to say method is post, then you can use it. Or you have to use the REST client to go to the post method. I will show you the REST client right now, how to use the REST client for our application, for our testing of our application. Since I want to use this as a get method now first, so I will say app.get. Now here I want to put what kind of URL you want to get. So I can say slash. This is the immediate first URL which I want to see. And then there will be function, arrow function. In arrow function, we get two parameters. In fact, three parameters. But right now, we will only think of two parameters. One is the request and one is the response. So whenever someone go to this URL, I get this function, and here in this function, I have to write something code over code. If it is something kind of asynchronous call, I can also say here async. But right now I am not doing any async work. So I'll just say request and response. And here inside it, I will write my code, what I want to do it. So initially, for now, I will just say request is something which user will send to you, and response is something which you will respond back to the user. Right now, we are not dealing with any request. So I will make it underlined so that it should not give me this warning. Let's talk about response right now. I will say that response.send, and in the send, I can send a simple text. I can send HTML part. I can send JSON part. So generally, when we are building the Node application, nobody now sends anything except the JSON. So we have to send the JSON part here. Okay. So, but for now, just for this example, just a simple example, I will just put hello world. But this is not the right way. We have to use the JSON, because my Node application will be used by someone who is expecting the response to be the JSON. So I will put the JSON just now in a minute. Before that, I'll just want to show hello world. But now if I refresh the page, you will see hello world is coming here. So though I don't prefer to put a text, so let's put the JSON. JSON, I will say success equal to 1. Maybe I will give some data of array 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. Okay, so I'm passing some data so user can see this data. So you will see this is the JSON. I'm getting success equal to 1 and data equal to whatever I have put. So what we did, we created one URL and then we sent some response to the user. Always remember, our response will be JSON output, because we will be building API, and API expects that I should return the JSON. Okay, so that is what we have to do it. So before we go further, you have to create one your route here, and then you have to create three more route. Let me write one more thing. Page equal to home page. So if I refresh it now, it's saying home page. So you have to create three more URLs. In all URL, you have to put the success equal to 1. Put some any different data, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6 random number, and the page will be the based on what you have in the URL. So for example, if you have in the URL admin, just change this page to admin. So like I have created this slash, you copy this part and create three more URLs. What three URLs you will create? One is called slash admin. Then another will be maybe slash listing page. Maybe another one will be detail page. And maybe another one will be, no, three is fine. This three is fine. So like I have created one, copy this part and create three more URL like this. And once you're done, put it in the chat so I can see it. Change the data, change the page name so that it should give some different look and feel. You have 5 minutes to finish this part and this three. Yeah, so if you cannot do, you can do later, but those who can do, they can try now. It's better. So like this part, you have to create multiple of this part. One copy paste here for this, copy paste for this, copy paste for this. Okay, so I hope you have completed this. Few people have sent me the response of these three, but if you're done, you can also send, but I'll go further now in this part. Now you will see this is the gate one. Let me create all three again for you, so it is easy. So this is the admin. I will use pages admin, and then I will create for the listing, for the detail, for the listing, for the detail. Okay, so we'll go through all the URLs. I'll see if everything is working. So this is the one URL, home page. Let's go to second one, admin. You see pages admin, listing, pages listing. Next is detail, pages details. So we are good. We are getting all the responses here. And all calls are get. You will see everything is get. Now let's try to use a REST client to access all the data. So generally when we go to any company, there is a one guy who creates this node application, or you can also create similar thing in the Java or PHP. So that backend guy can be a Python guy or .NET guy or PHP guy or Node.js guy, or you can also create application in Node.js. So they create this kind of structure. In every language it is different how you create it, but in Node we create like this. So this is created by the backend guy. So if you are backend, you can create a Node.js. This all is created by backend people. Now the front-end guy, the React person wants to see what happens if you go to slash, what happens if you go to slash admin, what happens if you go to slash listing, what happens when you go to slash detail. So that way the React person wants to experiment all the API. Let's see. So React person wants to go to all the URL and see if everything is working fine or not. So how will he will do? He will not go to the browser and do this kind of thing, because many times it's a post request. Many times we want to send the header to the backend. So everything cannot be done on the browser. So we need the REST client. So one of the REST client is the Postman. So you can use the Postman REST client to access all these backend URLs. Another one is Insomnia, which I like. I use this one. You can use free to use anything. There are thousands of REST client available on the internet. So you have to download this one and do it. So I have one here. I will open it. 1 second. Let me open it. Okay, so this is the Insomnia. If you see, it's Insomnia REST client. See, this icon is similar to this one. So this Insomnia, you can also download the Insomnia REST client. And here I will show you how we call it. Let me create the new collection. Okay, let's see. Okay, so I am in the sample one. Okay, so here I will create different requests based on what I have here. For example, I want to go to slash. So what I will do, I will take the URL which I want to go. Yeah, like this. So I'll check the first request. I will name it. Okay, I'll show it again. So here I will click it and say new request. So before I go into detail, I think you should download the Insomnia and let me know once you're done. I'll give you 2 minutes. This is for Mac also and Windows also. I'm not sure about the similar to Postman. This is similar to Postman. If you want to use Postman, you can use Postman. But those who want to download Insomnia, I'll give you 5 minutes to download and install, and then we will work here. So all the backend API I will build in the Node.js application to test it. So if I want to example test this part or this part, I will not go to browser to test it. I will go to this REST client. It may be Postman or this Insomnia. So whatever you like, you can use it. So I'll give you 5 minutes, those who want to install the Insomnia, so that we can go together all the things. Okay, you have 5 minutes to install the Insomnia. Okay, so I hope you have installed this one, or you can use the Postman collection also. Also, there is, in the Visual Studio Code also, we can use the REST client like this Thunder client. So here also you can build the like Postman. What I'm showing you, you can build it here also. Okay, so there are different ways to do it, whatever you prefer. So let's go to the Insomnia today, and we will see this part also some other time. Okay, so what I will do, I'll create one request and I will name it whatever I want. So for example, I'll say first request. You have to tell what kind of request you want to call: get, post, put, patch, delete, option, head. There are different methods. So generally in our web application, we use get, put, post, patch, delete. Okay, these are not used in our use cases, normal use cases. There may be some additional use cases where we can use this one, but not as of now. I never used in my whole 20 years career this one. But if something comes up, we can also use it. Okay, so first is the get one. Let's create the get request. Now you have to mention what URL you want to call. So this is the URL I want to call. HTTP localhost 8080. Since it is a get request, it does not need any body. Since it is my own API, I did not put any authentication. I did not put any header, though we will add header in future examples. But right now, for now, it's not there. So let's just send it and see what happens. So as soon as I click send, you will see whole JSON is coming here. So as a React developer, someone told me that this is the API. I go to the API and check in the insomnia. One second. Okay, so what we are getting it? We are getting this JSON response, which you see it here. So generally we don't go to the browser, we have to go there. Let's try to do the detail page. I can create a new request for detail page, but for now I'll just replace this detail and send it. So now I'm getting the detail response. I can go to admin and then I will get the admin response. So this way React developer will go here and he will check all the API which is provided by the backend person to see if everything is working here fine or not. And if something is missing or not working, React person will talk with the backend guy and ask him to fix this part, because we need the proper response as we discussed. So generally backend guy will discuss with the front end guy what response you want, and he will create that response and give it to the front end guy. Then front end will check if everything is working fine or not. That is how it works. And if you are also backend guy, that you have to do both the work. You have to create the API also, as I have built it here. And as a React developer, you have to go here in the insomnia and you have to check all the API here if it is working or not working. That's how it works. So we went to the get part. Let's see get part little bit more. Okay, so we will try to see little bit more examples in the get part. Okay, so let me show you one more part. Now, so let's say if I want to go to detail page. So the detail page generally have the ID in the URL. So for example, detail page will not be like detail. It will be having ID that I want to see the post ID 1 or I want to see the post ID 2. So generally detail page will have this ID, right? Whatever you want to pass. So how to access this ID in the Node application? So since I want to access the ID, I will just put another path here. I'm saying detail / :ID. As soon as I say :ID, I can access this ID separately because this ID will be dynamic. It will not be static. For the post 1, it will be 1. For the post 2, it will be 2. For the post 3, it will be 3. Like that, we will get different ID. So we should know how to access this ID. And once we get this ID, I will go to the database, give the detail for that ID, and I will send the information to the user for that ID. Right now, we don't have database, so we are not doing anything, but we will do in future. But how to access now this ID? So I want to console.log this ID. Okay, so like this. Somehow ID, I want ID. Though ID is not there, now it will break, but I will show you how to access the ID. So before I access the ID, let's see what is the request coming. Okay, so what's the request coming? So I will do the console.log of the request, and when someone will go to this URL, I will see the request. The request is very big. I will not go into each step now, but we want to see how the ID we have to access it. Okay, so let's try to access the ID. Let me open the Insomnia. So I will go to detail page and I will pass the ID. My ID is string, maybe a big number, XY123 ABC. So I want to access this ID as soon as I click submit in the my Node application. I'll send it. Though user will see this information, but in real world, I will go to this, take this ID, go to backend database, get the information. I will send the information here. But since we don't have database right now, so we just want to see how to access the ID. So as soon as I call the URL, you will see this request part is so big. It's a very big kind of object, and we have to see where exactly is the ID coming. We'll go down, 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 go down. This is the URL which user is trying to access. This is the method get. Okay, go down, go down, go down, go down, go down, go down. See, here we got this ID. It is located in the params. So where is it located? In the params, we get the ID. So if I want to access the ID, I can say request dot params dot ID. So this is my ID. So now if I go down here, if I try to access the URL again, send it, you will see that I'm getting the ID, whatever user is trying to put it here. So let's say tomorrow user wants to access different detail. For example, he will put 123, send it, and here I will see ID equal to 123. So to access anything in this format, whatever I have sent it here, I will use the request.params and the variable name. Okay, so that's what I will be using it. I will also pass ID here by saying request.params.id. So whatever ID I am passing it here, I will also display it here. Okay, let's try it now. I'm passing 123 here. So I'm passing this here. Whatever URL you will pass here is the ID. It will come here as request.params.id. Is this part clear? How to access the information? This information? Okay, so I'll give you 2 minutes. You can change your detail one by passing the ID and accessing it. So we will see number of ways to access different kind of information in the URL. This is one of the way to access it. Now after this I will show you one more and then end the today's class. In the next lesson we'll see different ways to access the information. Okay, so just do this change in 2 minutes, then I'll show you one more method to access the information. Okay, so let's see one more method to access the information. Sometimes, sometimes people wants to pass the data like this. So, for example, if I'm going to admin, okay, so I'm in the admin page. So sometimes people want to pass the data like in the query string. I'll put question mark x equal to 1 ampersand y equal to 2. So all the information are passed in the get URL like this format, x equal to 1, y equal to 2, and blah blah blah. It goes to multiple here. So how to access this x and y in the Node.js, we will see that way. So before going to see how it looks like, I will go to the admin, and similarly I will do console.log of the request. And we will see where exactly we are getting x and y. Okay, so I'll send it now, and here I get this in the console. I get it now. I will try to find x equal to 1 and y equal to 2. Okay, so this is my request object. Let's go down, let's go down, let's go down, let's go down, let's go down. Okay, so you will see here is the query, and we're getting information in the query. So whenever someone passes information in this URL like this, we will get that information inside the query part. So let's try to put the query part. So here I will say query, or first I'll say here request.query. So if I want to access x, I can say request.query.x. And if I want to access y, I will say y here. Okay, let's try to see now both the things. So I'll say send information. Let's go to this. So you will see query is x equal to 1, y equal to 2, and x is 1, y equal to 2. So we can access anything which user has sent in the URL also. I will put here also. I'll say request.query.x, y equal to request.query.y. Okay. So we are sending the info. Whatever user will send, I will return it back. So x1 equal to 2. If I pass 21, I'm getting information. So what is this way to access the query string? This is called the query string. Query string means anything after question mark. And if we want to access anything after the question mark, that is called the query string. And to access the query string, we will use this method, request.query.x, request.query.y. So one way we have seen, we can access it like this by passing the params. Another way to access is by query string, where we can access the information like this. So just update this your admin part and test it with some use case, whatever you want, and see if it is working. So this is the another way. Next Friday, we will see some other ways to access the information. Today we have seen two methods. One is called params and the query. Next time we will see more methods in this node application. And in this application, we will try to learn. I'll show you what is the roadmap, what we're going to study. So we will build the Express server, which we did it today. Then we will create different routings, which we did. Some of them we created now. We will be creating more next time. Then we will see different methods to access the information, like we did get request.params today and request.query today. We will see few more next time. We will also do file upload and see how to do file upload in Node.js. So whenever from the React application someone wants to upload the file on the server, or like TikTok, you build a TikTok, so you want to upload your videos. So we will see how to upload a file or anything on the video on the Node server. Then we can build the React application to send that information to the Node server. And we'll also see the mail sending. So we'll send the mail using the Node server. So whenever someone logs in or someone register on your website, you can send the mail that you are successfully registered on our website. Generally, Pass server take care of it, but if you want to send manually anything, you can send this one. So this whole project will be consisting of these things. And once we are done with this one, we will go to database also to see how to access it. So let's add the database part also. So this will be complete API package which we will build in few weeks in Node.js. Okay, that's all for today. Just write down this part and we're done for today.
Manisha?
Yeah.
I have one question, sir. Hello.
Sorry, yeah, ask us.
I just want to know, we are studying data structure and algo, right?
Yeah.
I just want to know where we are using that, in which backend or frontend. Actually, I'm from BCom, so I just want to know.
You can use that in the backend also. You can use that in the front end also. These data structure are used in all over the world of programming. Okay, so for example, if you want to, if you are building some kind of, like flight shortage distance from Delhi to Mumbai or something, so you will use the graph data structure. So if you are building something like a family tree, so you will do the tree structure. On that day, we played a game, like one person to money was transferred. So that is called the binary heap. So if you're building some kind of that structure in your project, then you will use binary heap. So wherever your code lies, you can write it in Node also, you can write it in React also, depending on the where you want to, write it.
Okay, got it, sir. Thank you so much.
So React is changing, Node.js is changing, PHP is changing, .NET is changing, but data structure concept is same. So all big companies, they go with the data structure because they know today we have PHP or React or Node. After 10 years, it will be completely different. But the data structure part will remain same.
Same, sure.
So that's the reason all big companies go with the data structure. They don't want to ask anything on the React, though you go for a React interview. But small companies, they want to ask on React also because they want you to do quick work on the React. So they should know that you know the React code thoroughly before you join the company.
Oh, got it.
So there is difference between big and small companies.
Got it, sir. Thank you.
Okay, so I'll commit also this code, and then you can also take it from there if you have not written here. So next time we will do more things from this part. And this part is similar to all the projects. Whatever project we will be building, you will be using all these parts in your application if you're building Node.js application. There are few more things in the Node.js to learn, which I will add it here, extra miscellaneous. So maybe in few lessons, few weeks, we will be done with the Node.js. The important part of the Node.js, though you can build anything in the Node.js, it's a very big, vast thing. But the important part, which is generally used in any company, that part we will be doing it. Okay, that's all for today. Any questions?